Good afternoon, everyone. This is Deaconess Elizabeth, and it is Friday, April the 16th.
And I'm here again for our daily devotions. So we're in the book of Luke. We are now in the 6th chapter, so if you'd like to follow along, you may turn there now. On a Sabbath, while he was going through the grain fields, his disciples plucked and ate some heads of grain, rubbing them in their hands. But some of the Pharisees said, "Why are you doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath?" And Jesus answered them, "Have you not read what David did when he was hungry? He and those who were with him, how he entered the house of God and took and ate the bread of the presence, which is not lawful for any but the priests to eat, and also gave it to those with him? And he said to them, the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath." On another Sabbath he entered the synagogue and was teaching, and a man was there whose right hand was withered. And the scribes and the Pharisees watched him to see whether he would heal on the Sabbath, so that they might find a reason to accuse him. But he knew their thoughts, and he said to the man with the withered hand, "Come and stand here." And he rose and stood there. And Jesus said to them, "I ask you, is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm, to save life or to destroy it?" And after looking around at them all, he said to him, "Stretch out your hand." And he did so, and his hand was restored. But they were filled with fury and discussed with one another what they might do to Jesus. In these days he went out to the mountain to pray, and all night he continued in prayer to God. And when day came, he called his disciples and chose from them 12 whom he named apostles: Simon, whom he named Peter, and Andrew his brother, and James and John, and Philip and Bartholomew, and Matthew and Thomas, and James the son of Alphaeus, and Simon who was called the Zealot, and Judas the son of James, and Judas Iscariot, who became a traitor. Okay, so here again we have two accounts of Jesus running into some trouble with some Pharisees. You see he has many conflicts. You hear of many conflicts. One where he spits in the ground, he makes mud to heal a blind person by rubbing mud in his eyes, and that's considered work because you're making mud with your spit. And so that was, Jesus was breaking the law according to the Pharisees because you're not supposed to do any work on the Sabbath. And so the disciples here were eating some heads of grain because they were hungry, and the Pharisees quickly latched onto that and said, "Why are you letting them do that? They're working." And Jesus quickly he kind of points them to another great king, King David, and how when David and some of the men with him were hungry and they ate the bread of the presence, and Jesus is kind of implying, saying there's a greater king in your midst, and they're missing that. And the Pharisees here, they have something like, or the Jews themselves had something close to like 613 laws, so many laws associated with the Sabbath and other rituals and things, just so they wouldn't come anywhere near to breaking the 10 Commandments, the 10 that God gave to Moses on Mount Sinai. So the disciples were doing work, and the Pharisees did not like that. And then again, when this time there is a man who had a withered hand, and Jesus already knew what the Pharisees were thinking, but he had the man come and stand by him, and he healed him. It's better to do good than to do harm on the Sabbath, and kind of just showing how that the Sabbath was really just a shadow, and how Jesus is the reality. Jesus came and he fulfilled the law, so that these laws are not applicable now because of Jesus' death and resurrection. So then here at the end of the section, you kind of have it closing off with Jesus choosing his 12 apostles, and he's choosing from amongst his disciples many disciples, but he chose 12 apostles whom he was going to send out and who specifically were with him throughout his ministry. All right, so this afternoon our hymn is going to be hymn 846, "Your Hand, O Lord, in Days of Old," and we're going to sing verse 1. Your hand, O Lord, in days of old was strong to heal and save. It triumphed over ills and death, o'er Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Well, thank you for joining me for our daily devotions again this kind of rainy Friday. A few things happening this weekend. Tomorrow, as it's Saturday, we will still have Zoom, but we'll have it online. The Zoom link is in our church e-newsletter. The lawn's kind of wet, and tomorrow's looking to be a little chilly in the morning. But following shortly after that, I'll probably see many of you here for a wedding taking place here around 12:30 in the afternoon. So looking forward to seeing many of you for that. And then Sunday events as normal. We'll be having our service, Sunday school at 9:30, church at 10:30 as usual, and then confirmation with just our confirmation 2 students at 6 o'clock in the evening. So looking forward to seeing many of you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Friday.